Today I'm going to show you how to put the backs on resin hair clips using UV resin. Here's some hair clips that I've already made recently that all need the backs on them. Always use gloves when you're using any type of resin. And I'm actually also going to use this mask. This is the UV resin I'm using. I always get it in this big tube because I use a lot of it. And you need a UV light. And also some toothpicks. There's many ways to do this, but this is the best way that I've found to do it. So you're going to flip it on its front so that you can see the back of the clip. And you're going to find the hair clip that is going to be attached to it. Make sure it fits good. You're going to be putting the UV resin directly on top of the back of the clip. And don't put too much because it'll overflow on the edges. Just enough to put a thin layer on the back of your clip. And then you're going to put it across the whole surface of the back. This ensures that your clip looks nice and neat and it will sew well. Anytime you're selling something, you want to make it look as neat as possible. Once you smoothed it out, you put the clip directly on the back. And almost immediately, get your UV light and set the resin. This will only take about 30 seconds because we're just setting it. And then once it's not moving, we'll put it onto the UV light for longer. I'm just making sure it's getting all sides right now. I also like to open the clip because sometimes the resin will move in there and you won't be able to open the clip. So it's best to do this early, as soon as the bottom has set a little bit. That way, if there isn't a UV resin inside of there, it'll cure and it won't get stuck. Once you ensure it's working properly, move it over and you'll have it under the UV light while you continue to work. And then you move on to your next one. So I've done all of these straight edge ones and I've put them under the UV light. And then they're under the UV light for at least 2 minutes, and then you flip them on their either side for about 2 minutes longer on each side, just to ensure that it's nice and stuck on there. Now let's do this next one. Now I do find these to be a little bit more difficult just because it's not just a straight clip. So be very careful when you're pouring your resin on not to overflow around the edges. But we're doing the same process. You're going to again take the toothpick and spread around the resin just to the edges. It's almost like you're making a doming effect on it, except there's not quite as much as you would if you're doming on the top of a resin piece. If you get any drips along the edges, it could make your piece look messy. Once that's done, place it directly matching the hole for the hole of the clip, making sure the clip isn't going over any of your edges. And don't move it around too much because it can make it go over the edges of the clip. And immediately set it for about 30 seconds, just like we did the last one. And I find these type of clips will get stuck a lot more frequently than the straight edge ones because the resin gets up in there in the middle. Do each side before you try to open it. That way when you try to open it, your clip doesn't fall off. And look, it's already a little stuck. Oh, good thing we did this one. Make sure you get it set in the middle there before you close it again. When I first started doing this, I didn't do this step. And when I was done, I would notice I would have clips that I couldn't open. And I was so disappointed. So this is definitely an important step. Okay, so we get all those done. And now we're going to do this shape. And they use this type of clip on the back. We're using the same process. And spread it around with the toothpick. And I love the hair clips because you can get really creative and make all different designs on these. And I will be posting a video in the next couple weeks of how to make the hair clips. The top parts of them. Once you get it all spread around, you're just going to put that clip on the back. This one I feel like is a little bit more complicated to get it just right. I don't know if it's the shape of it. And then immediately set it. Turn it to either side, and then once you feel confident that it's stuck on there, you're going to open it again just like the other two. And then add it under there permanently with the rest of them while you continue working. And once you get pretty good at this process, you can do multiples at a time. I would encourage you not to do more than 2 or 3 because you don't want your resin to run over the edge and ruin what you've worked on. So here I'm just going to demonstrate how I do 2 at a time to make it a bit of a faster process. And I sell my resin hair clips usually in a pack of 2, but you can decide how many you would like to sell together. Or you could even sell 1, but my 2 packs of hair clips sell really well. And you want to work quickly. I had to work quickly, especially because I'm working in front of a window that has the natural sunlight, and I don't want my resin to harden. Because natural sunlight will cure UV resin. It takes a little bit longer than a UV light, but it does start to harden it. Okay, and then very carefully place it on there without getting your resin over the sides. Do both of them and quickly get your UV light so you can hurry up and set it before the backs of those start moving around. It doesn't take long to set it. Just turn it on its side and get each side. When you're doing 2 at a time like this, it really does make the process faster. My UV light has a 30-second and a 60-second timer on it, but all UV lights are different. And then, of course, don't forget to open your clip to make sure it's not sticking. These don't stick as bad as the rectangular ones do. And And once you've done that, just set it under there again for a longer period of time with the rest of them that you have in there. And see how they're all in different stages of curing. So some have been on their side and we have to flip them to the other side. And some are still on their backs. And that's just in the process of how I've done them. Some of them have a hard time setting up. Okay, so here is the finished products, and how I sell them is I put 2 on just one of these earring cardboard pieces. And you can just kind of mix and match. You could see all these clips that I did, they're a little bit different. So just see what would look good with each other. And I try to do 2 different shapes on all of my packages too. So make sure it just looks good, whatever you're putting on there. And you don't want to put like 2 completely different themed clips on there because the person might not want to buy something like that. And it'll be just try on error. And I didn't use enough of these, so I'm going to have to mix and match some more. There we go. Some of these have dried flowers, some of them don't. Some of them have the foil pieces in them. Again, I'll go ahead and do a video to show you how I make the tops of these resin clips. I think they're a lot of fun to make. I'm just deciding what would look best with each other. All right. I like the little one on top better. And this is the completed clips and how you put the backs on them. Please like this video, and if you like it, you can subscribe to my channel, and I have a lot more resin tutorials on my channel, and I'll soon start adding some different sewing ones. Bye.